Hey guys, so I just got out of the CinemaCon panel for Paramount. This is the final day here at CinemaCon, and I was very much looking forward to this panel for several reasons. We did get a title. I'm going to start with this because I'm going to forget the title. For Avatar, it is The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. Now, I've seen a little discourse already of people that are a little annoyed they dropped the Avatar name, and honestly, I kind of get it because you're competing with Avatar, as in Blue Na'vi Avatar, and there's so much of that, and then people were like, Avatar, and it's confusing, it gets to be a lot, and so I think it was very smart to do The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. I'm still excited for it. We didn't get much more information besides the title. We also know there's going to be a new Paw Patrol Dino movie, which I know my kids will be excited about. Yes, they're 12 and 13, but they still love Paw Patrol, and they think it's a lot of fun. One thing that I thought was really fun is the way they kicked off this presentation was literally with 4 dirt bikes riding around the arena, going off ramps. I half expected one of them to be Tom Cruise because that man is crazy and he loves a stunt. He was not one of them, but we did see a lot from him later. He gave an award to Christopher McQuarrie, the director of the Mission Impossible movies. He talked about him for about 30 minutes. He came out and he was very sweet. He told everyone to take a moment for Val Kilmer, which really made a couple people cry. There was a lot happening. He honored Val about being in Top Gun and then coming back to Top Gun Maverick. And then he talked a lot about Christopher and their connection, which I thought was great, and then gave him an award for Director of the Year, which I thought was a lot of fun. It was great. They made a lot of antics. One of the things that I thought was fun is Tom Cruise randomly started talking about Brad Pitt and was like, he's got a movie F1. You know Tom Cruise loves the cinema, right? I don't know if you know this about him, but he loves the cinema. So he was talking about I was excited to see F1 in the theaters when it comes out, and he said, he's excited to see Brad Pitt drive, and we were kind of like, okay, and he's like, no, like he can drive because I would race go-karts with him after Interview with a Vampire. We would film Interview with a Vampire, and then we would go out and race go-karts at night, and I was like, okay, like that's fun. So I thought that was really fun to learn, and also excited for F1. If you didn't see my recap of that panel, I was pretty surprised because I'm not big into racing or like sports movies, but for some reason, what we saw the first 10 minutes, it really won me over. That was a separate panel. Already talked about that. So let's keep going with Paramount. With Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, they did give us a trailer. Looks great. Flashes back to a lot of stuff that Ethan Hunt has done in the past, and kind of said like it's all coming together for this. So, and it takes place 2 months after the last film that we got. So what will happen here, who knows, but I do think it really will be the end, at least for Ethan. Who knows about the Mission Impossible franchise. They definitely could find ways to continue it, of course, but I think this might be actually the last one for Tom Cruise. We shall see, but it seemed like it that way. What else did we get? Running Man. Now, I love the book by Stephen King. I read it years ago, probably 15 years ago I read that. Love the book. Then I watched the 80s movie and I was like, this is nothing like the book. What are we doing here? This is so different. And it kind of annoyed me. Because I'm a big, if you've been around me for a while, you know I'm a big person who likes when you don't change things from the book, at least not major things. And so they did that with The Running Man from the 80s, and I was like, oh no. But we got to see quite a bit of footage, considering that they literally just wrapped a week ago. They said The Running Man. We got to see a lot. It looks great. It looks like it captures the vibe of the book. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like it's going to be brutal. And yes, of course, Glenn Powell is phenomenal. He feels like absolutely the right choice. But Coleman Domingo, man. Coleman Domingo absolutely is so charismatic. He's so much fun. He was like just clearly having a blast in this world. Just from what we could see, it makes me even more excited to see the rest of it. Really, truly, truly excited. And then another one that I got really excited about is Rooftop Man. And it is Channing Tatum, based on a real story of this guy who would just go around and steal. He's a thief who like robbed a bunch of McDonald's, but he was like super nice. Like in one of the scenes, he puts them all in the walk-in, but he gives like the guy his coat because the guy's cold and he doesn't have a coat. So it was a lot of fun. It was entertaining and interesting. Channing Tatum always knows how to be charismatic. It was a little bit of an extended trailer, an extended look, and it definitely hyped me up and made me excited, especially because I didn't really know anything about this movie. So I was really in on that as well. We saw a little bit of Smurfs. Looks cute, looks fun, definitely more childish. Kind of reminded me of Trolls. There was like a big musical number that reminded me of Trolls, sort of. And then Nick Offerman voices Papa Smurf's brother, which was like hilarious. He stole the show for me. I love Nick Offerman. Listen, I love that man. And that's probably about all the things that really stood out for me that I can remember off the top of my head. But if you go to my Twitter at Mama's Geeky, you'll see where I commented on everything that I saw throughout the panel and throughout the presentation here at CinemaCon. So you can get my thought on those. And then, yeah, join me later today. We have the big one, the one I'm most excited for, which is Disney Marvel panel, because I really want some Fantastic Four, some Thunderbolts, but I really want some Fantastic Four. So be sure to check that out. I will have a reaction up for that later, but I will also be live tweeting it through my Twitter, of course, as well. And thanks for listening, guys. I will see you later today.